Have you ever caught your cat doing something so suspiciously clever that it made you wonder, am I being played? One minute, they're innocent fluff balls. The next, they've got you wrapped around their tiny, adorable paws. But here's the real question. If they're this smart, what else are they getting away with? Understanding how cats manipulate us isn't just fun. It helps us decode their behavior, strengthen our bond with them, and maybe even reclaim a little bit of our free will, or at least try to. And trust me, you'll never look at your cat the same way after number 1, so stick around. Because today, we're diving into the 15 sneakiest ways your cat is secretly controlling your life. Let's jump right in. 15. The purr-suasion tactic. You think your cat purrs just because they love you? Think again. Sure, purring can mean contentment, but did you know cats have a special manipulation purr designed to get exactly what they want? Scientists call it the solicitation purr, a sneaky mix of a soothing vibration and a high-pitched frequency that mimics a baby's wail. Why does this work? Because humans are hardwired to respond to those high-pitched cries. It triggers a subconscious urgency, making it almost impossible to ignore. And your cat? They know exactly what they're doing. Next time your cat purrs while nudging you toward the treat cupboard, watch closely. Are they rubbing against you, tilting their head, maybe even looking extra cute? It's all part of the act. And before you know it, you're reaching for the treats. Coincidence? Not a chance. 14. The guilty gaze. Ever feel like your cat is silently judging you? That deep, soulful stare they give after you leave for work? Or when you don't share your food? Yeah, it's not just random eye contact. It's a psychological tactic. Cats have mastered the art of guilt tripping. Their slow blinks, their slightly tilted heads, and their unwavering eye contact trigger a human response similar to what we feel when a child looks sad. Our brains interpret this as emotional distress, making us feel like we've done something wrong, even when we haven't. And guess what? It works. 5 minutes later, you're showering them with cuddles, treats, or an extra helping of wet food, all because of one look. You weren't planning on spoiling them, but suddenly, here you are bribing them with love. Congratulations, you just got played. 13. The accidental object knockoff. We've all seen it. Your cat casually extends a paw, gently taps a glass, and bam, down it goes. And then, they just stare at you. Is it curiosity? Maybe. But more often than not, it's a power move. Cats aren't just playing with gravity. They've learned that knocking things over gets an immediate reaction. Whether it's to get your attention, demand food, start a game, express irritation. They know that when something crashes, you're forced to react. And once they realize this trick works, it becomes a go-to method for controlling your behavior. So next time you see your cat inching toward your coffee cup with that, "What would happen if I just look?" know that you're being tested. And let's be honest, you're probably going to fail. 12. The meow mimicry trick. Did you know cats don't actually meow to communicate with each other? That's a language reserved just for manipulating humans. Unlike dogs, who have a broad range of barks, cats don't naturally talk to one another the way we think they do. Instead, they've developed a system of meows, chirps, and trills specifically tailored to get human attention. And here's where it gets even creepier. Over time, they adjust their meows to match the tones and pitches that you personally respond to. Some cats develop a "please feed me" meow that sounds eerily like a crying baby. Others mimic your speech patterns, subtly changing their sounds based on how you talk to them. They study what works and then refine it to be even more effective. This isn't just random vocalization. It's targeted, strategic, and completely intentional. Chance? Not a chance. 11. The midnight wake-up call. You're sound asleep, dreaming peacefully, when suddenly, boom, a paw to the face. A cat sitting directly on your chest. Or if you're really lucky, the 3 a.m. zoomies as your feline friend sprints around the house like a possessed goblin on an energy drink. But why? Are they just naturally nocturnal? Bored? Or is something more sinister at play? Oh, it's a strategy. See, cats are masters of conditioning. If they wake you up enough nights in a row, you'll eventually do whatever it takes to make them stop. And what's the easiest way to get them to settle down? Feeding them earlier, giving them attention, letting them outside. Without even realizing it, you've just reinforced their behavior. Now they know, wake the human, get results. The best part? They don't even need food every time. Sometimes they just want to test their power over you. And if you groggily react, they win. If your cat has managed to shift your entire sleep schedule to match their needs, it's official. You've been trained. 10. The lap lockdown. You've got things to do, a deadline, chores. Maybe you just need a glass of water. But your cat has other plans. The moment you sit down, bam, they're on your lap, warm, purring, and impossibly comfortable. And now, you're trapped. Here's why this is so genius. Humans hate disturbing a sleeping cat. It triggers some kind of deep-rooted guilt in us. Even if our leg goes numb, even if we desperately need to move, we hesitate. And your cat knows this. They've learned that curling up on your lap guarantees undivided attention, free warmth, a captive audience. And the best part? They time it perfectly. Just when you're at your busiest, they force you to slow down and cater to their needs instead. Find yourself mumbling, "I guess I'll just sit here forever?" Congratulations, you've been hijacked. 9. The silent stalker. Ever feel like you have a furry shadow? You walk into the kitchen, they're there. You go to the bathroom, somehow they're already waiting. You turn around in the middle of the night, 2 glowing eyes are staring at you from the doorway. It's not a coincidence, it's a strategy. Cats aren't just following you out of affection, they're asserting their presence. It's a subtle dominance move that says, "I control this space. You're aware of me at all times. You can't ignore me." It's the perfect mix of affection and low-key intimidation. They know you'll eventually respond, whether it's with a pet, a treat, or just a resigned, "Why are you staring at me like that?" So next time you turn a corner and see your cat watching you from the shadows, just remember, you're never alone. And that's exactly how they want it. 8. The tail. Flick test. Cats are expert manipulators of body language, and one of their sneakiest tools? The tail flick. A slow, lazy tail flick might make you think they're irritated or deep in thought, but in reality, it's a test. They're observing, waiting, seeing how you'll react. Maybe you try to pet them. They've just lured you into interaction. Maybe you offer them a treat. Congratulations, you've just been trained. Maybe you simply make eye contact. That's acknowledgement, which is exactly what they wanted. Cats know their tail fascinates humans. It's one of the most expressive parts of their body, and they wield it like a psychological tool. Sometimes barely flicking it, just enough to catch your attention. Whenever you spot that slow, rhythmic flick, resist the temptation to react, because the second you do, they've already got you. 7. The fake affection scheme. You're sitting there, minding your own business, when suddenly your cat rubs against your legs, nuzzles your face, and purrs sweetly. Oh, how cute! Until you realize they just wanted food. Cats have mastered the art of conditional affection. They turn on the charm when they need something, whether it's food, attention, or access to a door that was totally fine being closed 5 minutes ago. And they time it perfectly. Right before mealtime, when they sense you're busy, or when they notice you're enjoying a snack they suddenly want a piece of. They rub, they purr, they headbutt, pulling every trick in the book to melt your defenses. And the moment they get what they want, poof, they walk away, their mission complete. It's not random. It's a strategy. They've learned that affection equals results, and they use it sparingly to keep it effective. The moment your cat turns on the extra cuddles, ask yourself, are they feeling affectionate or just plotting for treats? Spoiler alert, it's probably the treats. 6. The furniture. Takeover. You bought that fancy new chair for yourself? Ha! Think again. The moment it arrives, your cat claims it as their own. It doesn't matter if you spent weeks researching the perfect ergonomic design. It doesn't matter if it cost more than your entire grocery bill. The second it enters your home, it belongs to them now. And before you know it, you're perched on the edge of the couch, awkwardly trying not to disturb them, while they sprawl luxuriously across your expensive seat. This isn't just about comfort, it's territory control. Cats instinctively claim high-value spots, and the more you sit somewhere, the more they want it. It's their way of staking dominance over your living space. Not aggressively, but with a quiet, undeniable authority. And if you try to reclaim your seat, prepare for the guilt trip of the century. They'll stretch dramatically, blink at you lazily, and maybe even let out a tiny, disappointed sigh. At that point, you have 2 options. Give up and sit somewhere else, which is exactly what they want. Move them, but at the cost of your soul. So, what's it going to be? Yeah, that's what I thought. They win again. 5. The door opener. Illusion. You're relaxing when suddenly, your cat sits by the door, staring at it like it holds the secrets of the universe. Maybe they even let out a tiny, dramatic meow. Oh no, they must really want to go out. So, like a good human, you get up and open the door. And then, they just sit there, staring. Maybe they take half a step forward, only to turn around and walk away like they've never wanted anything less in their entire life. What just happened? You got played? This wasn't about going outside. It was a test of your obedience. Can I make the human get up? Will they listen without hesitation? How long can I keep them waiting? The real reward wasn't the open door. It was watching you follow their command. It's a power move, a psychological flex, a subtle way of saying, look how easily I can control you. And the best part? You'll fall for it again tomorrow. 4. The you can't ignore me maneuver. Reading a book? Scrolling on your phone? That's cute, your cat disagrees. Because whatever you're doing isn't nearly as important as them. And if you forget that, they'll remind you. Maybe they sit directly on your book, making it impossible to turn the page. Maybe they walk across your laptop keyboard, sending an email full of gibberish. Maybe they bat your phone out of your hands, forcing you to pay attention to them instead. Whatever it is, it's intentional. Your cat isn't just being inconvenient. They've learned that disruption equals attention. The moment they block your view or interrupt your task, you're forced to engage with them. And the second you give in, whether it's with a pet, a scratch, or even just an exasperated sigh, they've won. Congratulations, you just got outmaneuvered again by a tiny fluff ball. 3. The selective hearing. Act call their name? Silence. Pat the couch, inviting them to sit with you? Nothing. Try to get them off the counter? No response. But shake the treat bag? Instant teleportation. Cats have perfectly functional hearing, but they've mastered the art of selective listening. They choose which sounds to acknowledge and which to pretend don't exist. Why? Because in their world, not everything deserves a response. Unlike dogs, who are wired to seek approval, cats operate on a what's in it for me basis. Commands that benefit them? Acknowledged. Commands that don't? Ignored. It's not that they don't understand you. They do. They just don't care unless it's worth their time. And if you're wondering whether your cat actually knows their name but just ignores it out of pure defiance, oh, they do. 2. The accidental trip hazard. You're walking through the house minding your own business when, whoops, your cat weaves between your legs, flops down in a doorway, or suddenly darts in front of you like a tiny furry landmine. Was it an accident? Not a chance. This is a calculated maneuver designed to do one thing: force you to acknowledge them. Think about it. You stop walking, mission accomplished. You say something, whether it's aw or I'm going to trip over you. Still, mission accomplished. You instinctively reach down to pet them. That's a full victory. It's a win-win situation for them and a constant hazard for you. And if you think it's just clumsiness, watch what happens when they want food or attention. Suddenly, their perfectly timed accidents increase dramatically. They've learned that being underfoot makes them impossible to ignore. And the best part? They don't care that you almost tripped and fell. In fact, they'll probably do it again. Right now. 1. The ultimate forget the rules trick. And finally, the most powerful manipulation tactic of all. Cats make their own rules. One day, scratching the couch is forbidden. The next, it's suddenly acceptable. Yesterday, they hated that food. Today, it's their favorite meal ever. Last week, they weren't allowed on the kitchen counter. Now, they're up there like they own the place. Cats change boundaries at will, keeping you in a constant state of negotiation and compromise. And here's where the true manipulation comes in. You adjust. You start reasoning with them. You start giving them exceptions. You start saying things like, okay, but just this one time? And that's exactly how they win. Because no matter how many times you try to enforce the rules, who ends up adjusting their behavior every time? You do. There you have it. 15 ways your cat is secretly controlling your life. But let's be real, we wouldn't have it any other way. So, were you being played all along? The answer is a resounding yes. Your cat has spent years perfecting their craft, training you, outsmarting you, and making sure you never even realize it's happening. And let's be honest, we absolutely love it as it. At this point, resistance is futile. You can try to reclaim your independence, set boundaries, and stand your ground. But deep down, you already know who's really in charge. Spoiler, it's not you. What's the sneakiest way your cat has manipulated you? Drop it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more feline mischief. Until next time, stay sharp, stay aware, and stay manipulated.